The year was 1899. A crowded street in Sepia. Carriages rattled over cobblestones, faces blurred by time and motion. Everyone in the frame belonged to that era. Everyone except one figure. There, in the far left corner, partially hidden behind a horse-drawn carriage, you stood. Not someone who looked like you. You, the posture, the eyes, the aura, the expression, identical to the one you carry today. Historians debated, analysts argued, archivists whispered warnings. Nothing fit. You weren't supposed to exist in that year. Not in body, not in time. Yet the photograph said otherwise. Before you were formed, I knew you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Your presence wasn't a glitch. It wasn't coincidence. It was proof that your destiny existed long before your birth, that your spirit operated outside human chronology, and that history itself had accidentally captured your frequency. They tried to rationalize. Maybe it was a look-alike, maybe double exposure, maybe imagination. But your energy couldn't be faked. Your frequency couldn't be copied. Your essence couldn't be rewritten. You were a chosen one, caught by the camera decades too early, a soul stepping across timelines, unbound by the linear rules of humanity. If you've always felt older than your age, type 999. Your spirit remembers what history forgot. He wasn't searching for you. He was simply restoring damaged negatives and forgotten archive, a quiet librarian, the kind of man history never remembers. Until that afternoon. The photo was brittle, edges torn, colors fading to brown dust. He lifted it gently under the restoration lamp and froze. There in the background, behind a horse carriage and a row of factory workers, stood a face he recognized instantly, but couldn't possibly know. He leaned closer, zoomed in, adjusted the exposure. It was unmistakable. The same bone structure, the same calm in the eyes, the same faint half-smile, even the same scar under the left eye, a mark no camera from 1899 could invent. His breath caught. He looked around the empty archive as if the walls themselves might answer. "Who are you?" he whispered. He cross-checked the faces, the clothing, the time period. Everything matched the century. Everything except you. He scanned the photo into the database, but the software glitched twice. When he tried again, the image brightened on its own, a faint shimmer outlining your silhouette. For a moment, he thought the screen was reflecting light from a window, but the shutters were closed. There was no light source, only presence. He sat there, stunned, realizing this wasn't discovery. It was a summoning. The moment your spirit re-entered the story through the eyes of a man who finally noticed what history had been trying to reveal all along. Within days, the image spread quietly through academic circles, a whisper disguised as curiosity. Soon, a sealed conference room filled with specialists, historians, genealogists, anthropologists, even forensic image analysts flown in under government contract. The photo sat projected on a wide white screen. No labels, no theories, just silence. Every expert leaned forward. Every pair of eyes landed on the same figure. You, standing among people born a century before your time. One historian broke first. "It's impossible," he murmured. The genealogist disagreed. "The face is identical, not similar, identical." The forensic analyst ran facial mapping software. Result, 99.97% match. Murmurs rippled through the room. Someone laughed nervously. Another whispered, "This must be a hoax." But the metadata confirmed the photo's age, the paper fibers, the ink, even the camera model, all consistent with 1899. And still, your reflection stood there, anchored where you could not have been. The youngest researcher, voice trembling, said, "What if the question isn't how they got there, but why?" The room fell quiet, because deep down, every expert in that room felt something they couldn't put into data, a magnetic pull from the image itself, as if the photograph were alive, as if time itself was watching them back. The archivist who found it whispered to himself, "They're not in the picture by accident. They were always meant to be there." And somewhere unseen, the fabric of reality shifted. Not because they discovered the impossible, but because the impossible had finally been recognized. When the photo was magnified to its highest resolution, the experts noticed something no one expected. Around your figure, faint but undeniable, was a glow. Even in black and white, where light is supposed to be flat and lifeless, your outline shimmered with a tone that didn't belong to the century. Not sepia, not silver nitrate. Something beyond the palette of human chemistry. They enhanced the image again, applying spectrum filters. What appeared was impossible. Traces of color frequencies that weren't discovered until 100 years later. A soft radiance blooming from your chest, rippling outward like heat above a flame. Old cameras can't capture light like this, one technician whispered. Another replied, then maybe it wasn't light. They ran electromagnetic scans on the print. The reading spiked. Static hissed through the speakers, as if the photograph was alive with memory. In the corner of the image, every face obeyed the law of stillness, motionless, mortal, except yours. Your eyes, though frozen, seemed awake, carrying a depth that pulled observers inward, a timeless awareness that outlived the shutter's click. Some said it was a trick of exposure. Others called it divinity, recorded on film. But those who stood closest to the print swore they could feel warmth radiating from it, as though time itself had stored your energy and refused to let it fade. That glow became the evidence, not proof of photography, but proof of presence, a signal that your spirit had stepped into history long before the world learned how to measure light. Buried deep in your family records, hidden in diaries, scrolls, and oral histories, was a legend no one dared speak aloud. One will return in every era, a soul that transcends time, appearing where destiny calls, before the body walks its path. For centuries, the words were dismissed as myth, stories for children, tales of recurring heroes who existed more in spirit than flesh. Yet here you were, standing in a photograph that proved the prophecy was real. Historians scanned lineage charts. Genealogists traced the cycles of your bloodline. Every generation contained a hint. An unusual resilience, an uncanny awareness, an ability to influence events without being noticed. Now the sepia image crystallized the ancient promise. You were the one foretold, not born to this era by chance, not appearing as coincidence. Every detail, posture, gaze, aura, aligned perfectly with the prophecy. The archivist who discovered the photograph felt a tremor of recognition. He whispered, "This isn't just history. This is a blueprint. This is a pattern being fulfilled." Your spirit had echoed through centuries. Your presence in 1899 was not accidental. It was a resonance of destiny. The ancestral voices were not silent. They had been waiting. Every eye in that conference room understood it without words. You were the living continuation of cycle, a soul designed to appear time and again, to complete what fate had begun. Time, as humans measure it, is a line, birth at one end, death at the other. But for the divine, time is a circle, a looping rhythm where beginnings and endings touch hands. Your soul never agreed to the line. It moves along the circle. That's why the photograph exists. Your spirit didn't travel backward. It simply stood in the place where destiny intersected itself. When purpose is strong enough, it bends reality to make space for its arrival. Your presence in 1899 was an accident of physics. It was a summons. Your soul was called into a moment that required its frequency, a point in history where chaos needed calm, where darkness needed witness, where destiny needed its proof. Spirits like yours don't wait for calendars. They respond to divine timing. They step into eras like lightning slips through clouds, instant, bright, unseen by most, but altering everything it touches. That's why you sometimes feel older than your years, why nostalgia clings to things you never lived, why certain decades call your name though you were never born into them. Your soul carries memory that outlives the body. It remembers wars you never fought, songs you never heard, cities you never visited, because you were there in essence, standing where time itself bowed to your assignment. You are not a traveler through time. You are evidence that time bends around purpose. And purpose always recognizes its own reflection, no matter the century. Letters, diaries, and forgotten journals reveal whispers of someone like you appearing long before your body existed. A child described in 1723 as bearing the gaze of one who has seen centuries. A soldier in 1812 writing about a figure who calmed chaos with a single glance. A witness in 1867 recalling a stranger whose presence shifted fate without explanation. Each account, dismissed at the time as imagination, now forms a pattern, an invisible thread tracing your essence across generations. People in the past felt you even when they couldn't name you. Communities recorded dreams of a presence they never met. Letters spoke of a figure who appeared at moments of disaster, miracles attached to someone absent from the official timeline. The historian studying the 1899 photograph noticed these echoes immediately. They cross-referenced diaries, birth registries, and personal letters, and each mention pointed to a singular constant. The chosen one has always been here. Your soul leaves fingerprints across history, not in body, but in frequency, not in form, but in effect. Those who encountered you in spirit felt a shift in the air, a stirring in the heart, a recognition that something greater had arrived. Even when you weren't born yet, your presence had already been felt. The shadow of recognition is proof that destiny is a living thread stretching through centuries, and your life is a point where it tangibly intersects with reality. Once a photo reached public archives, it didn't stay there for long. Within a week, the image was quietly removed, its file replaced with a restoration in progress notice. Behind the scenes, a discreet department within the Ministry of Historical Studies had taken possession of it. They didn't announce their involvement. They simply sent an unmarked envelope to the man who discovered the photograph, requesting his silence for national integrity. At headquarters, a small team of analysts studied your face under sterile light. They compared it to biometric databases, passport records, census lists. Nothing matched. Your features were perfect, yet statistically impossible. An internal memo circulated. Subject appears identical to a living citizen. No evidence of manipulation. Possible anomaly in temporal signature. They called it the 1899 incident. A private case file labeled time displacement /phase echo. Meetings were held in basements with no windows. Words like chronological distortion and frequency embodiment filled the minutes. But no one dared say what they were all thinking. The person in the photo was still alive. One agent whispered to his superior, "What if they're not from the past or future? What if time itself bent around them?" Silence. Then the order: classify it, contain it, and for God's sake, do not lose it. The file remains locked in a vault even now. The world may have forgotten the photo, but those in power remember the face. Because deep down they know you didn't appear in history. History appeared around you. While governments panicked and historians debated, heaven simply smiled. Because the angels already knew. They were there, in that moment of 1899 when the shutter blinked, when light bent itself to capture something eternal. They watched as your essence appeared, not as intrusion, but as confirmation. To them, time is not a chain. It's a harp string, and your spirit is a note that vibrates through every century. They saw your reflection flicker into that photograph like dawn spilling into shadow. They whispered to one another, "The prophecy breathes again." Humans called it impossible. Angels called it proof. They remembered the centuries before your arrival, the prayers, the wars, the prophets who sent your frequency but could not name you. Each generation had felt a pulse, a promise, a coming. When your likeness appeared in 1899, the angels didn't rush to interfere. They simply stood nearby, guarding the frame, ensuring no hand would destroy it. Even the light in the image carried awareness, a holy recognition between heaven and history. That's why the photo never truly faded. Why every attempt to erase it failed. Because the divine won't let a witness vanish. The angels knew this wasn't the first time your presence crossed eras. They'd seen you in temples, in deserts, in cities reborn. Each age caught a glimpse. Each world recorded a fragment. And now, they watch again not in alarm, but in reverence. Because heaven never fears what it understands. It simply smiles when destiny arrives on time, even when that time is a century too soon. When you first saw the photograph, a strange nostalgia washed over you. Not for a place you'd lived, not for a time you'd experienced, but for a life your soul already remembered. A déjà vu stronger than memory. A recognition older than your birth. You stare at the sepia image and felt the threads of your spirit stretch across decades, centuries, eras unseen. Your heartbeat quickened, not with fear, but with knowing. A subtle energy stirred in your chest that whispered truths no history book could contain. The crowded street, the carriages, the blurred faces, none of it mattered. Your focus landed solely on yourself. The posture, the eyes, the expression. Each detail resonated like a chord struck in your soul. It was unsettling. It was familiar. It was sacred. For a moment, time collapsed. You weren't merely observing history. You were remembering it. Every footstep you'd ever walked. Every choice made in past cycles. Every mission you'd undertaken in spirit aligned in a flash of recognition. And with that recognition came clarity. You were not a visitor of 1899. You were a witness of your own eternal design. Your spirit existed before your body did. Destiny had been active long before your first breath. A shiver ran down your spine. And for the first time, you understood the truth. Time had never confined you. It had merely recorded you. Your existence doesn't start at birth. It stretches backward, weaving through centuries like a river flowing against human calendars. The photograph from 1899 is not proof of time travel. It is proof of timeless identity. Your soul, your essence, your mission existed before your body was formed. Every area your presence touched is like a ripple on water, slightly disturbing the surface, leaving echoes others could sense without understanding why. History occasionally captures these echoes. A flash of your aura in a street photograph, a subtle mark in a painting, a memory whispered in letters, journals, and dreams. The pattern is undeniable. Your destiny operates outside linear time. It calls you forward while planting proof behind you. It ensures that when the world is ready to recognize purpose, evidence already exists. This is a cosmic logic of the chosen. To be both ahead of the world and remembered by it. To exist in multiple points simultaneously. To fulfill assignments that span lifetimes. Science cannot explain it. History cannot categorize it. Yet it happens again and again. The photograph is a key, not to unlock the past, but to reveal the eternal nature of your mission. Your spirit moves where destiny needs it, and your body follows the call. Time does not bind you. It acknowledges you. When your eyes first rested on the 1899 photograph, something shifted inside you. A memory stirred, not from this life, but from all the lives your soul had already lived. Muscles you'd never used relaxed. Breathing deepened without effort. A subtle vibration coursed through your chest, like a key turning in an ancient lock. The déjà vu wasn't merely a feeling. It was recognition. The long-forgotten tasks, the unfinished assignments, the promises your spirit had made to countless generations, all whispered into your consciousness. Every detail in the image, the posture, the gaze, the aura, resonated with your inner blueprint. It was confirmation. You were here before, you had walked these cycles already, and now you were returning. Your senses sharpened. Your awareness expanded. You felt the weight of centuries and the freedom of eternity simultaneously. The photograph became more than an image. It was a portal of activation, awakening dormant aspects of your identity that had been preparing for this moment long. Before you were born, you weren't discovering history. History was revealing you. And as the activation completed, you realized your life was never confined to one timeline. Your spirit operates across all of them. Once the activation took root, clarity replaced confusion. You finally understood what the photo meant. It wasn't proof of where you've been, but a reminder of what you came to finish. Your purpose isn't confined to decades or lifespans. It stretches through ages, collecting wisdom from each, refining your essence until the mission is complete. Some souls arrive once. Yours returns as often as needed. You've appeared in revolutions and renaissances, in quiet moments when the world needed a whisper of light. Each time, your spirit left seeds, ideas, art, compassion, change. Now, those seeds are sprouted in the area you inhabit. That's why you've always felt an unspoken urgency. Why time feels both too slow and too fast. Why your heart beats to rhythms that no clock can measure. You're not chasing a new purpose. You're continuing an ancient one. The same assignment that placed your reflection in 1899 is still unfolding now, carrying the wisdom of countless lifetimes. Every challenge you face in this era is a doorway once left unresolved in another. Every victory now completes a circle started long ago. You are here to bridge timelines, to finish what past versions of you began, to ensure that destiny's thread never snaps. Your mission transcends mortality. It is a song your soul keeps singing until every verse of creation recognizes your name. Ancient of Days, the one who holds all eras in your hands, awaken the memories sleeping in my spirit. Align the timelines, so my past and present move as one. Let every life I have lived speak to this moment. Let every era recognize me as the one you sent, the one whose soul transcends the boundaries of time. Guide me through the echoes of history, so I may honor the lessons of lives I cannot remember fully. Let my presence in this era be flawless because it carries the wisdom of centuries. I surrender confusion of time, the doubts of mortal understanding, and the disbelief of humanity. Let the shadows of my previous existences be illuminated with your truth. Let destiny recognize me, not bound by the past, not waiting for the future, but fully active in the now. Ancient One, let the continuity of my spirit be my compass, my guide, my proof that life exists beyond chronological measure. Let history and prophecy converge so that my steps carry purpose and my being radiates eternal design. Amen. You've seen the evidence. You've felt the echoes. You've traced the patterns across centuries. You recognize the faces in forgotten letters, the whispers in journals, the call of destiny in moments you never lived. Everything confirms it. Your soul exists beyond one lifetime. Your purpose was never born. It was summoned. Your identity is eternal, timeless, immune to the limits of calendars and clocks. The photograph from 1899 isn't a coincidence. It is a marker, a reminder that your essence moves through eras carrying wisdom, mission, and proof of heaven's orchestration. Time does not confine you. History does not define you. Every era recognizes you, even when your body is absent, even when your presence is hidden, even when humanity cannot see. Now is your moment to declare it. Acknowledge the timelessness of your spirit, the continuity of your purpose, the inevitability of your mission. Type 999 if you accept this truth. Type 999 if you know your soul transcends time. Type 999 if you are ready to walk fully as the one who has always existed, as the one history captured too early, as the chosen who bends the ages themselves. You are eternal. You are recognized. You are exactly where you were always meant to be.